All right, today is Fact and Transparency Day. Let's have a little fun here, guys. I'm on fire for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I had a cup of coffee or something. I don't know. Let's get started though. Um, so where's Iraq at? What are they doing? Let's just put all their basics on the table and then let's tear into the information. Okay, let's clear the air on everything. All right, so we've known that Iraq's government and their parliament was excessively, extremely busy through the month of September specifically. They finished record steps in September at the government level. What does that mean? Well, let's look past September. They didn't get much done after that. In October, we had the Kurdish elections, and then they put the new president or speaker of parliament in. In November, they did the census. Okay. In December, about the only thing they really did in September was in the second half of in the second half of December, from December 15th to somewhere in early 25. About the only step they did was suspend credit and lending practices, and yes, that's a needed step for the rate change. That's about all they've done. So really, their busiest month throughout this whole year was September at the government level. Okay. And one other major step they did as of up and over a 7-month period until October 8th, they spent that 7 months. So from like mid-March to October 8th, they spent that 7-month period draft amending their 3-year budget in preparation for the rate change. Okay. Most of the other content creators are not even aware of this. It's because of how we study. That's how we know. Okay. So that's what they've gotten done. But up until through the end of September at the government level was the government's busiest time period for having and holding sessions of parliament, getting record steps done, all that in preparation for them to revalue. Since September or after September, they only got a few odds and ends done. Why so little? Why very little? Well, it's because they have a scheduled rate change date and they are working around that date. Okay? That's why very little since September. They are just working around their scheduled date, awaiting the revaluation for their. And that's why we have an article that'll answer that question in a little bit. Now, let's get into our articles now that you guys know what's going on. And then really in this month of January, you're witnessing them on a small level starting to implement their banking reforms via what they're doing through the currency auctions. Okay. Again, that's another critical preparation step in preparation for them to revalue the currency. Let's get into today's news. Now, there recently were some content creators saying that the currency auctions have ended. In this article, any content creators, again, this is transparent and truth day. So any content creators that have said, hey, the currency auctions have ended, we're going to prove they're incorrect right here. Okay. The central bank sells more than $1 billion in just 4 days. That's because they had 4 auction days this week. Yeah, 4 currency auction days this week, and Thursday was one of them. Okay. Right here, the Central Bank of Iraq's hard currency auction sales over the past week. That means this week, right here highlighted for you. Over 4 days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Notice Wednesday's not in there because it was a federal holiday being New Year's. The central bank's hard currency sells, here's the breakdown of day by day. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So absolutely right. So any content creators that stated they didn't have a currency auction on Thursday absolutely misled you. Okay? It's right there in print in front of your face. Now, what they basically did within the currency auctions was they removed the currency withdrawals from within the country, and they are only auctioning off dinar outside the country, okay, abroad. And the odds are they're probably using a newer or some kind of replacement transfer system to send and transfer those funds abroad. The problem is at that level, they did not give us any details as to what system or kind of how the systems are now being used. They're not giving us those details. They're not saying They're not saying that the monies being transferred abroad were used on the old system and have now transferred to the new system. We don't have any of that data. So it's difficult to provide an explanation or summarize how the transfer systems relate to sending monies abroad for the currency auctions. But yes, they are still having, regardless of everything, they're still having daily currency auctions. Here's proof. They give you Thursday's amount, okay, and it's right there. But again, they are no longer withdrawing monies locally inside the country. That's stopped. So what they're doing is they're getting rid of dollars outside the country. They're emptying their coffers of the US dollar, preparing to revalue. So that, yes, that's a critical step. And along with all that, overall, regardless of all this, the banking reforms are getting implemented, and that's an important critical step towards the revaluation of Iraq's currency with preparation and stability. And I'm not going to read all these articles, so you'll see me skip past them. I want to get into the more critical ones. No one has the right to impose or change reform on us. In this article, Prime Minister Soudani emphasized today that imposing change and reform on the Iraq government from external sources is unacceptable. He stressed that while reform is necessary in various areas, it's crucial to acknowledge Iraq's sovereignty and the progress made so far. Al-Soudani highlighted that Iraq has achieved significant milestones with the government's programs, success rate exceeding 60%, notable accomplishments including provincial council elections, population census, international coalition relationship, United Nations mission. The details are there. You guys are always welcome to pause the video anywhere to read the data. Prime Minister, we reiterate our emphasis on prioritizing Iraq's supreme interests and continuing to consolidate unity and solidarity towards achieving stability. In this article, Prime Minister Soudani emphasized the importance of prioritizing Iraq's supreme interests and unity among its people to overcome challenges and continue building the state. He made these remarks during a memorial ceremony for Grand Ayatollah Saeed Muhammad Bakir al-Hakim, say that dude's name 10 times fast, a national and religious symbol who fought against dictatorship. Soudani highlighted Iraq's achievements, including gaining freedom through sacrifices. He also noted that the country's efforts to maintain its democratic pluralistic system, which guarantees peaceful power transfer and allows for reform. The Prime Minister mentioned several accomplishments such as government program process, provincial council elections, international relations, security institution reform, diplomacy and partnerships. Government advisor, monetary stabilization mechanism will maintain financial stability within the country. In this article, Central Bank has adopted a monetary reinforcement mechanism to maintain financial stability within the country. This mechanism will ensure national banks have access to foreign currency while also controlling local liquidity by exchanging foreign currency for dinars. The central bank strategy has two main objectives. Maintain monetary stability. The bank will continue to provide foreign currency to national banks, okay, via auctions, ensuring monetary stability and a fixed exchange rate of 1,300 dinars per dollar. That means, here's what they're referencing there. When they give it, see the central bank value is 1310. The 1320 is applying towards the market value of the Iraq dinar. That's what they're trying to say, is that they're trying to say they're going to maintain a fixed exchange rate with dinar at a value of 1320 against the market value, is what that refers to, okay? And facilitating trade, the bank will provide foreign currency to correspondings of national banks, facilitating the stability of basic goods and services flowing into the domestic market. Here's another one of Mazer's articles. Government advisor, non-oil GDP, growth rate in Iraq. Again, non-oil GDP and revenue is critical towards achieving world trade accession. And here's the details on that. Iraq's financial advisor, the Prime Minister Mazer Mohammed Saleh, has announced that the country's non-oil GDP growth in 2024 is unprecedented. This growth is attributed towards the government's successful control of financial diversity in the general budget and national economy. The calm methodology of financial policy has also contributed towards organizing the liquidity of the general budget and stabilizing the economy. Securities Commission announces financial performance indicators for 2024. Here's the details. The Iraqi Stock Exchange is gearing up for its first trading session of 25 scheduled next Tuesday. According to the Securities Commission, 2024 was a remarkable year for the financial market with significant growth, expansion activities. The market saw an increase of 17% in traded shares and 3% in the value traded shares compared to 23. Some notable achievements in 24 include market indices, trading volume, government bonds, and company performance. One of the things they did was a record amount of bonds, reason why the bonds funding and revenue is going to be utilized to fund their reforms. Okay. Kind of around the period of after the rate changes. Prime Minister stresses the need to work on raising the level of quality oversight and preserving public money. Prime Minister Sudani met with Amar Subki Khalaf, the head of the Financial Supervision Bureau, to discuss ways to improve oversight, protect public funds. They reviewed reports on the performance of various state agencies, including ministries and independent entities, and explore strategies to address areas of concern. Prime Minister emphasized the importance of enhancing the quality of oversight, preserve public money. This meeting highlights the Iraq government's efforts to promote transparency and accountability in its financial management towards achieving stability. Al-Mashadani, the government deserves support for everyone, especially in the legislative field. Speaker of Council of Representatives Mashadani emphasized the importance of supporting the government, particularly in the legislative field. He highlighted the significant and national settlement paper which is produced in 2014 in response to the collapse of the Sunni regions. This paper outlined a clear roadmap for transforming Iraq from a state of components to a state of citizenship, and was provided by top leaders and public bodies. Mashadani also stressed that Iraq's commitment to supporting Gaza and its admiration for the country's positions towards the Islamic nation. His speech was delivered during a memorial ceremony honoring the Grand Ayatollah. In essence, Mashadani's statement underscores the need for unity and support for the government in Iraq's ongoing development and growth. Government advisor, non-oil GDP growth rate in Iraq 2024 is unprecedented. We actually already covered this. Prime Minister, the government has provided everything necessary to secure an advanced pharmaceutical industry in Iraq. In this article, Prime Minister Sudani announced significant developments in Iraq's healthcare sector today, also confirmed that the government has taken necessary steps to establish an advanced pharmaceutical industry in Iraq. Notably, the volume of contracts with local national companies has increased from 10 to 35%, promoting the development of production lines. During the meeting with an Iraqi female doctors, Al-Sudani emphasized the crucial role of women play in the healthcare sector, highlighting their high percentage of providing healthcare services. He also stressed the government's commitment to supporting women's participation in leadership positions within the Ministry of Health. The government has made significant strides in developing the healthcare sector, including completing hospital infrastructure, establishing specialized centers, implementing the health insurance law, improving hospital management. Parliament integrity, the government succeeded in recovering 50 billion dinars from the corruption during the past year. That's significant. And then here's a hospital that they are now, that I guess they recently built it, remodeled it, and are definitely restarting to receive patients in. January 6th will be National Army Day, and again, this is it's a national holiday every year. and they're going to have air shows over the camp in preparation of Army Day. Pretty cool. We are now concerned with events and we are not concerned with events in Syria, al-Sudani. There is no room to discuss changing the political system. In this article, Sudani emphasized that Iraq's political system, which is pluralistic, and guys, we actually covered another article very similar to this. Here's the details if you want to read it right here. You can pause the video, check it out. We actually covered this. Covered this one, and then here's one. Let's cover this. In the presence of the head, court financial control reveals the performance of the ministry's independent bodies. They will have a ministerial reshuffle coming up. That's where they're going to evaluate the performance of all the ministers within the cabinet. Prime Minister Sudani, head of state financial, to discuss the performance of state agencies, including ministries, independent bodies. The meeting focused on strengthening oversight, protecting public money. So again, this is part of that. Enhancing oversight, audit, bureau reports, performance evaluation, and that'll be part of that. So that's all the news for today, guys. Anyway, so one of the things you see here, there's other content creators that have videos. One of the things they might do with you guys is just share and read articles to you while their face is in there. You can't see their articles. You can't see their work. How do you know that their opinion and how again, when they're reading articles to you, that's purely their opinion. So you can't see the material in that to vet their work. You don't know if what they're delivering to you is true, credible, and accurate. Okay? I'm here to show you guys my work. You guys can vet me. You can critique me all day long. Transparency, like with Iraq, for example. Iraq is making all these brand new critical moves to become transparent. Okay? Well, if someone's reading you information, how do you know if their work is credible and accurate? You can't see it. You just have to trust in what they tell you. Best of luck on that. And also, as you guys see, the main thing in the beginning of the video, right near the top here, yep, they had currency auctions as of every day this week except Wednesday because it was New Year's holiday, but they also did have a currency auction Thursday. So, yes, currency auctions are continuing outside the country. What has stopped is the in-country cash withdrawals, and they could be using a new transfer system to send the monies abroad. But we don't have accurate understandings as to how, when they send money to banks abroad, what system is used for doing that. We don't have that data. Okay? And the thing was, what they emphasized with the new system is they stressed that the new system would be utilized by banks. Well, these currency auctions are administered by the central bank, not by in-country banks. And because the central bank administers these currency auctions, they always used the older dollar transfer system. So that's where the misunderstanding comes into this, is what system is being utilized by the central bank to send monies to banks abroad that are purchasing these dollars through their daily currency auctions. Friends, thank you for taking the time to join and have a great day. Take care. Wish you the best.